Good morning. On behalf of the Central Bank of the Dominican Republic, we are more than honored to represent this institution and our country in the Pmo Global Award of the year 2018. My name is Burgett. I am Director of the Planning and Budget Department of the bank, and as such, I am also the lead nominator and presenter. First, we show you with an overview of our Pmo. And just to put you in context, the Central Bank of the Dominican Republic, CBDR for short, is a public, autonomous institution created in 1947, and its paramount functions are, among others, to be the monetary issuer of the country, responsible for ensuring price stability, ensuring the stability of the financial system, and promoting the efficiency and security of the payment systems. And these functions, that you may also commonly find in other central banks of the world, are implemented by executing monetary, exchange, and financial policies. These functions make central banking activities a vital and crucial part of the economic life of any nation, by contributing to the stability and growth of the national economy. As without stability and without growth, economic development is virtually unthinkable. Our vision, as reflected on our strategic plan for 2018-2021, is to be a dynamic and transparent institution, recognized for its credibility and the efficiency of human and technological capital. As you can see on the screen, we like to visualize our institution as that of a robust building, where the implemented management model seeks the orientation to results and continuous excellence of people, processes, functions, and projects, framed by the approved strategic plan as the basis of its foundation, supporting an operational system of management, accountability, and decision-making made up of the three pillars that you see that constitute the monetary, exchange, and financial policies, the financial system regulation, and the efficiency of the payment system of the nation. The role of the Pmo is to manage the organization's strategic planning and portfolio systems, which groups programs, projects, and functional initiatives that support the organizational strategy, including, for being part of the Department of Planning and Budget, the budget system for plans and projects, which we have defined as the P5 administration, plans, portfolio, programs, projects, and budget, P5 for its acronym in Spanish. This management practice enables and supports the corporate governance as the organization responds to the same interests, standards, policies, and guidelines. The methodologies, common language, techniques, tools, processes, and procedures were designed, approved, and implemented to measure, analyze, monitor, and evaluate the achievement of strategic goals, which are reported and at the same time contribute to enhance the decision-making process for the bank's authorities and management. As a facilitator in the plans and projects formulation process, the Pmo CBDR contributed to gain superior alignment with the organizational strategy, making the proper categorization of the strategic priorities and impact assessment strategies, balance of efforts and resources to respond to each category of the initiatives and needs of the business operations, prioritization of projects based on strategic alignment, business case, most valued projects, political, organizational constraints, and availability of strategic resources, and performing the interdependency analysis between programs and projects into the portfolio, including both those being executed and those already completed. During the execution phase, our monitoring and controlling role allows us to support the effectiveness of project management through a sort of proactive follow-up, or ex prior, if you will, of project activities. This contributes to define the necessary preventive and corrective actions, properly and timely supported in order to request the required changes to the Change Control Board and update the relevant plans. In the same way, the PMO ensures that the transition plan has been carried out to operations and that operations are able to accept and sustain the benefit. In addition, the ongoing coaching role played by the PMO staff as facilitators is a key factor along with the support from the bank's authorities, the management, and the PMO sponsors for the success of the job done as reported in the internal survey of customer satisfaction. And I should mention that this survey of our stakeholder satisfaction is performed by a third party, that is the Department of National Accounts, a dependency of the bank that usually manages national surveys for monetary policy purposes. Finally, as the Plans and Projects System Administrator, the PMO serves as a central information repository, helping to communicate a unique and consistent vision across the organization regarding the actual progress and situation of the portfolio. By delivering at all levels of the organization, and equally important, the society in general, the relevant information about the achieved results, rendering a complete and continuous performance record for both plans and projects. The successful job undertaken by the PMO is evidenced by the accomplishments of the strategic planning exercises during the 2006-2017 period. This contributed to the fulfillment of the mission's constitutional mandate, achievement of the vision, and strengthening of the organization's strategic planning and project management culture. Moreover, the project-driven culture advocated by the PMO is also reflected on the institution's social responsibility with the promotion of project management's best practices in the country. In that light, the central bank played a key and supportive role in the approval and launch of the first ever PMI's local chapter in the year 2011, as well as in other countries. They invite us to share our experience with the community of project managers, and other Latin American central banks are continually consulting us on the subject of administration of plans and projects, the latest being at the request of the Central Bank of Honduras for a full week of sharing our experiences as an institutional PMO. And now we review the history of the PMO. Next, we present you with a timeline that starts in the year 2006, when our institutional PMO was conceived as an essential tool for the new strategic plan to relaunch with a more robust and clear path to success. It has been a rather long journey until now, but one that has the unequivocal seal of fruition and accomplishment in the minds of all of the 1,900+ workers of the bank, most of whom now speak very fluently the common language of project management. Through more than 300 projects that had been completed successfully all over these 12 years, not only the bank has been transformed in its entirety, but also the Dominican society in general has benefited from being the second fastest growing economy of Latin America, while enjoying sustained price and monetary stability for more than a decade. This timeline indeed shows the most important milestones, like our constant approach to capacitation and training, as we will show in detail in a few minutes. The numerous OPM3 assessments done both internally and with the help of valuable consultants. Awards and recognition like being finalist on PMI's PMO of the Year 2014, and the more recent honorable mention of the Richard Goodman Strategic Planning Award 2018 by the Association for Strategic Planning, ASP. But what this timeline doesn't show is the hard work of many people that set sail with the PMO looking for the blue skies of progress, pushed by the winds of project management. We now get you into the nitty-gritty details of our journey. In August 2004, the CBDR adopted the strategic management model. that was previously interrupted due to the banking crisis of 2003, and the approved strategic plan of 2006-2009, which identified the need to incorporate project management under a PMO that will meet PMI's best practice standards to implement a more robust management, accountability, and decision-making system. In that sense, our strategic framework was conceived with a PMO at the core of it, following the organizational strategy, values, mission, and vision, and thus integrating the strategic objectives, indicators, and budget to provide an adequate portfolio execution, while at the same time providing with a strategic alignment, project prioritization, monitoring and controlling, as well as an overall best practices scenario converging to obtaining the best results for the business. Thus, we consider our PMO to be part of our strategic DNA, sort of speaking, and we find really amazing when from time to time we encounter an organizational strategic plan from another firm that lacks a PMO of any sort to back their planning efforts. We candidly question them, well, how do you do it? It's still baffling to us. As such, in 2007, the Monetary Board, the governing body of the CBDR, approved the implementation of the institution's Portfolio Management Office, or PMO CBDR, to aid in achieving the proposed strategic objectives related to restoring and maintaining the country's macroeconomic and financial stability. The word restoring is essential to understand this shift, as the country had been hit with a staggering crisis due to 3 major banks going bankrupt in 2003. So, when implementing organizational project management, OPM, which included portfolio programs and projects, in 2010 we hired an international consultant certified in OPM 3 to evaluate the first diagnosis of maturity in this model, whose results showed a 35% maturity level. From 2010 to 2014, we were evaluating the progress of the OPM through a process of continuous improvement, especially taking into account our organizational culture. We also incorporated good practices initiating the program management. Continuing the evaluation of maturity in OPM 3, the results to date are appreciated in the evaluation of the consultant as well as in the chart on the top of the screen, certifying that the maturity of the organizational direction of projects in the CBDR showed an upward progression in the organizational project management maturity from 35% in 2010 to 88% in 2018, with an opportunity for improvement in the area of risk management in the 3 domains. This process has contributed to the development of organizational capabilities in order to achieve better results, and also to promote a culture of excellence and continuous improvement through consistent processes, tools, techniques, practices, and repeatable successes. For these maturity results not only influence the gradual incorporation of good practices, but also the training and continuous development program that we have carried out for those who work on plans and projects. As you can see below, over 1,200 people have trained under the PMO's continual capacitation program from the year 2007 to date. And to conclude 2017, 14 members of the PMO CBDR team were certified in PMO Value Ring. Until now, 3 institutional strategic plans, or ISPs, have been successfully implemented, and their most important projects and achievements during the PMO's 12 years are to be mentioned as follows. Macroeconometric models for the decision-making of monetary policy, adoption of the inflation targeting scheme, transmission mechanisms of monetary policy, development of indicators of macroeconometric variables, and change of base year for the account system and the CPI. These are just samples of important projects that deal with the core functions of the business, comprised mostly of research projects with high-level activities and very strict criteria regarding project sponsors and team members. These projects are normally carried out by our staff of PhD and grad economists. Another one is laws and regulations for the strengthening of the financial system and implementation of the early warning system for risk control of financial entities, the public auction system, and the portal of the Monetary and Financial Authority. This is also a core level function of the bank, keeping updated the legislation and regulation of the financial sector as a whole. Design and implementation of the payment system of the Dominican Republic, including the startup of the RTGS, which stands for Real-Time Gross Settlement, for the settlement of payments and securities in real time, and its extension to be the payment systems of the Caribbean and Central America. An important note on this was one of the most formidable projects ever executed here at the bank, earning an internal award as the best executed project of the year and with the merit of being a model for all of the Central American region. The termination of the adequate level of international reserves, incorporation of the best management practices of reserves, and implementation of the PAT. This vital project was carried out within the RAMP program for managing reserves by the World Bank, and it led to the professionalization of a whole department that has the responsibility of managing an investment portfolio of over $7 billion currently. Implementation of the PMO, the Human Capital System, the Management Information System, the Central Classroom, and the Risk and Business Continuity System. This included the adoption of an important innovation as we acquired and implemented the Oracle Projects platform in 2009, a project that took almost 2 years to complete. Construction of the Alternate Computer Center, the Data Center, and the Alternate Continuity 27001 and 9001 certifications for the macro process of investment certificates. Modernization of internal security and ticket processing systems, among others, 306 projects completed. Well, these are sample projects that aim to improve the bank's systems and IT infrastructure to support the functional areas. The Strategic Plan 2006-2009 laid out the integral process of transformation, innovation, and organizational change, with the necessary steps to implement strategic planning and project management practice in the organization, focused on the organizational strategy, leading the institution towards the fulfillment of its objectives and strategies through strategic alignment from the plan to the projects, to the processes, and to the people. The ISP 2010-2013 included a strategic management framework based on the balanced scorecard to integrate, coordinate, and maintain align the efforts, plans, and decisions with the organizational strategy in response to the challenges posed by the plan, by the desired vision for the institution and the proposed strategic objectives in a cause-effect relationship along strategic perspectives. In this period after 2012, the institutional management system was framed by the National Planning System and the National Development Strategy, END 2030, which granted the CBDR the responsibility to guarantee macroeconomic sustainability and consolidate the efficient financial system, solvent and deep, that supports the generation of savings and its channeling to productive development. The Institutional Strategic Plan 2014-2017 maintained a low variability of the Consumer Price Index, CPI, which favored the effective control of inflation, whose market expectations were anchored around the target, maintaining stable economic growth with low inflation. Likewise, the stability of the financial system was maintained, in which the national strategy of promoting policies aimed at favoring financial inclusion through banking, financial education, and other projects of the financial sectors were included. Updating program for project management of the CDBR aligned to the best practices according to the new standards, which included trainings in Lean, Agile, and Scrum methodology, involving the updating of the methodology and publication of the Project Management Guide, Program, and Portfolio for the BCDR. At the end of 2017, the level of compliance of the portfolio for the 2014-2017 ISP amounted to 90%, 4 percentage points below the previous ISP, based on 5 important projects for the implementation of several strategies that could not be carried out. The 2006-2017 portfolio included 411 projects, of which 306 were completed for a 74% completion. 66 were dismissed for a 16%. 39 projects were extended in time, equivalent to a 9%, for a compliance effectiveness of time equivalent to 91%. At the same time, 282 projects, or a 92%, met the assigned budget, and of the completed ones, 299 projects, or the 98%, fulfilled the objectives of the organization. That qualifies us as champions, according to the category described in the PMI's Pulse of the Profession 2017. In this year 2018, we are initiating the ISP 2018-2021, whose purpose is to achieve an agile, dynamic, and sustainable organization that can respond to a changing environment, with the direction set on excellence through the career plan and succession, interdepartmental teams that promote the generation and exchange of knowledge, inspired by innovation and development of change management skills in order to achieve more efficient operations and services that allow us to achieve our vision as we fulfill our mission. Now we get into the Pmo structure. The Pmo CBDR function was approved by the first resolution of the Systems and Technology Committee, dated April 4, 2008, as the Deputy Direction of Strategic Planning within the Department of Planning and Budget, as it's shown on the chart. The said department being one of the dependencies under the Deputy General Manager of Operations, which in turn is located under the General Manager and the Governor. One question we are continually asked relates with the location of the PMO in the Planning and Budget Department, instead of, in example, under the direct supervision of the General Manager's office. Meaning that on such vertical organizations as central banks are, the higher the PMO could be located, the more influence it will gain, and its job could be simpler and more effective. Regardless of that opinion, we find that our P5 Administration of Plans, Portfolio, Programs, Projects, and Budget, P5 for its acronym in Spanish, have an ideal location here, and it's proven to be a good institutional bet. And I repeat here that the PMO was created with the purpose of coordinating the integrated process of strategic and operational planning, ensuring that initiatives are aligned with strategic objectives, and serving as the lead advocate for strategic thinking as well as an internal consultant. Thus, it serves a better purpose to be located on a departmental area, as it will allow for a more horizontal level communication with the other 26 departments of the bank. It turns out that the PMO is seen as a facilitator and coordinator, not as an auditor or a supervisor, and that is definitely a great part of our sustained success. The chief of the PMO CBDR, who has the PFMP, PGMP, PMP, PMOCP certifications, reports directly to the department's director and interacts frequently with middle and upper management to prioritize, balance, and improve the project's portfolio and programs, and to deliver performance reports regarding portfolio, programs, and projects to general management. Given the high degree of specialization required to develop the strategic themes of the organization, each strategic program that groups together departments or related subprograms organizes the hierarchical structure, and each department carries out the projects under its responsibility. For this reason, the PMO CBDR works under a weak matrix scheme, and its main function is to control and provide management consultancy, and hence its operations are financed through the institution's annual budget, which integrates the departmental functions and the annual operating plan, consisting of the departmental projects that support the successful implementation of the institutional strategic plan and those projects necessary to enhance the organization's operations. The PMO CBDR is composed of 19 people: the director, the person in charge, 3 coordinators, 4 area leaders, 5 strategic planning and portfolio supervisors, 5 project supervisors, and 2 technology specialists. The role it plays in its relationship with other areas of the institution include methodology specialist, project instructor, data and information administrator, as well as resource manager. And just as it was stated before, the PMO CBDR interacts with all the functional areas and departments of the bank, ensuring that, whatever the context, the roles and responsibilities for project governance are clear and appropriate for the project and the organization. Our cumulative experience has allowed the PMO to intervene when conflicts of interest arise and whenever a specific situation needs to be referred to a higher level of authority within the chain. The PMO's independent assurance has built enough confidence on the higher levels of the organization, helping it ensure that the projects are focused on the outcome rather than activities, and to review whether the objectives will be met. Now we get into the Pmo Objectives. The PMO CBDR's mission is to add value, performance, and quality deliverables to the institution's plans and projects, contributing to the fulfillment of the CBDR's mission. On this slide, we show you our strategy value chain, representing how our strategic plans are the source for our key strategic processes that fall under the PMO's authority of portfolio, program, and project management, and our maturity level align with the organization's governance, transparency, and accountability, and supported by the functional processes of the bank to ensure a portfolio performance that adds value and allow us to approach our vision over time. Our measured performance over 3 strategic cycles averages 90.3%, a clear indication of PMO's commitment to success. This office provides all the necessary tools, mentoring, coaching, resources, and support to its clients, project managers, PMO governance body, managers, and project stakeholders in general to manage their projects in the most efficient way. Our vision is to be the center of excellence for plans and project management, enabling a more agile organization through teamwork in multifunctional collaborative teams while setting the tone and best practices for project management in the banking industry and in the country. Our main goal is to ensure the proper formulation, execution, monitoring, control, and evaluation of the bank's strategic and operational plans, in accordance with the guidelines adopted by the Monetary Board. Our main functions include but are not limited to: first, to coordinate the strategic and operational planning of the CBDR, to promote strategic planning and project management within the organization and develop and implement standard methodologies, to develop the skills of the PMO staff, CBDR, and all project managers of the institution, to identify, evaluate, and select and prioritize new projects, To provide a set of tools that is easy to standardize and implement and operate the project information system. To provide mentoring to project managers and execute specialized project management activities. To monitor and control the performance of projects, programs, the portfolio, and the PMO. Ensure that the activities of benefit realization management are carried out and evaluate and manage the changes approved by the CCB, as well as the indicators and goals of the ISP. To communicate project, program, portfolio conditions and opportunities, providing advice to senior management in term performance indicators and strategies of the ISP. To direct the CBDR project portfolio, interrelationship of the projects, and maintain the statistics and scorecard indicators of the portfolio ISP. To direct one or more programs and provide interaction networks between departments and project managers. To conduct audits, closing reviews, project retrospectives, and audit the realization of benefits in operations. And to manage the files of project documentation and the ISP, including the database of lessons learned and risks. These functions are carried out continuously. Annually, each supervisor of the PMO CBDR facilitates the project managers by assigned department in the formulation of the projects that qualify for the director of the PMO according to the portfolio, its evaluation and recommendations, and submits it to the budget committee and then to the monetary board, who approve the draft budget of the central bank, which includes the annual operating plan. After the project is approved, the PMO CBDR assists the project managers in completing the management plans for each project and uploads the corresponding information to each one of them to the project management information system. If during the year there is a need to include a new project, the full PMO CBDR in the previous process and submit it to the approval of the CCP and the Monetary Board as appropriate. During the execution, the PMO supervisors interact daily with the directors of programs and projects. In the follow-up, support in the methodology, in the use of the project management tool that controls the chronogram and budget execution, in line with the highest of the organization, as well as in the reviews of the development of its deliverables, its budgets, schedules, acquisitions, quality, risk plan, and communications. This allows proactively or ex before the acquisitions that can be predicted in a timely manner. An integral consideration of the needs for changes in order to sustain them in time before the Change Control Board, or CCB, as well as to inform in a timely manner the progress of each draft. For closing, the PMO ensures that operations is prepared to accept and sustain the benefits with trained people, approved processes, operational manuals, and production technology, to support the commissioning of the deliverables, ensuring that the transition was made and the necessary change for the transitions and sustainment of the benefit that will be verified by the ex post evaluation 2 years after its start-up. Every month, by department, the project managers meet with the manager of the PMO and the team of coordinators to share their progress report of the period, sharing achievements, incidents, and lessons learned, the information that is consolidated in the month report, which the PMO director presents each Monday to the management to build making decisions that are necessary. This keeps every program and project manager engaged and informed. Additionally, the PMO CBDR raises the incidents that have impeded the progress of all activities of the period and, if necessary, coordinates between departments or with the management the necessary activities for its resolution. On a quarterly basis, project managers meet by program in communities and share the progress report, including the driving forces and the impeding forces, FIFO for acronyms in Spanish. that were presented in the execution of the period. These meetings are chaired by the Deputy General Management and then consolidated to present the result of the period to the manager and the Change Control Board. Every 6 months, the report of the progress of the portfolio is submitted in support of the achievement of the implementation of the strategies of the strategic plan. In addition, all this information must be included in the web, according to the publication schedule of the portfolio for the Transparency Portal, as well as being available for revisions of the CBDR audit. We include link to that website on the annex. The achievement of these objectives is reflected with the results achieved in the short, medium, and long term of the success of the strategic plan and the direction of projects as shown in the indicators and goals achieved and in the results of the satisfaction survey of our clients that increment for 92% on 2013 to 97% on 2017 of our stakeholders state that the quality of the services offered by the Pmo CBDR is excellent, very good, and good. Now we get into the Pmo results. The results obtained with the deliverables that made it possible to operationalize the strategies show that the work carried out by the Pmo CBDR complied with the expectations that gave it reason to be. Without further ado, we will show you the most important benefits to our stakeholders and the related impact generated by our portfolio management during the years 2006 to 2017. In terms of macroeconomic stability for our country, it's important to highlight here the implementation of the inflation targeting scheme, a project that took a long road to its implementation and probably one of the most relevant ever for our portfolio. This project has allowed to change the view of monetary policy from a historical perspective to a forward-looking one, and has definitely helped the nation to obtain low levels of inflation, changing from a post-bank crisis level of 49% on 2004 to a sustained 4 plus minus 1% range for over 10 years now. Concerning the financial system stability and efficiency of the payment system, it is notable here to mention the implementation of the real-time gross settlements system, a huge and awarded project that has received an outstanding valorization from our stakeholders, meaning the society in general, transitioning from an interbank payments transit time of 5 to 7 days for checks to 1 day and even 15 minutes when transferring money online from bank to bank. In terms of institutional development, a wide array of achievements regarding the realms of human capital, IT performance, and operational excellence has transformed the entire institution. Compliance with the transparency objectives has been a strong pillar of monetary policy, as transparency is an integral part of almost all of our macroeconomic modeling and has served as a de facto channel of communication with our stakeholders in general and the economic agents in particular. Regarding social responsibility, probably the most important projects relate with our countrywide participation in the dissemination of economic and financial education, along with our PMO's personal volunteering efforts to help spread our best practices and experience in the nation and abroad. In terms of the specific impact of the PMO regarding portfolio management during these years, it can be stated that our corporate-wide PMO has gained authority and relevance on the bank, thanks to its commitment to excellence and orientation to results. During last year, the main results obtained by the work carried out by the Pmo CBDR stand out for the coordination of the modernization programs of the banknote processing system in order to install new state-of-the-art equipment in order to reduce maintenance costs, develop greater capacity for performance and environmental conditioning of the physical space to improve the performance of personnel and processes involved, both in the main office and in the Santiago City Regional Office, and the program for the improvement of physical security systems with the update of analogous to IP of the CCTV system. Good practices in program management boosted the performance at maturity, especially of the program domain, to 92%. In December 2017, the cybersecurity program was launched, and its first deliverable was the already implemented proposal of a new Systems and Innovation Deputy General Management. The projects included in this program seek to provide the bank with the policy, technology, processes, and people trained to respond to the changes in the matter worldwide. Other projects that advanced in the past year were the updating of the economic activity indicators to include new sources, the Survey of National Expenditure and Household Income Survey 2017-2018, which will allow updating the structure and household expenditure patterns to estimate the consumer price index, define poverty profiles, and estimate the household account within the framework of the System of National Accounts (SNC) 2008. The implementation of the management processes of Information Technology Services (ITIL) and COBIT control objectives for information and related technology to adopt it as an IT governance framework in the Central Bank of the Dominican Republic, with a view to align IT processes with processes of business and achieve standardization and continuous improvement of them. In operational efficiency, the methodology for awarding the performance of strategic and project management was approved, and the new visual image of the institution was defined. In environmental management, the BCDR started the installation project of the solar energy system in the buildings of the institution, and for the new strategic plan, a strategy was included to facilitate solutions through monetary policy that contribute to the national economic development and contribute to mitigate the risks of climate change on the national economy. To support its implementation is carrying out the project implementation of green banking guidelines in the Dominican financial system. Our main innovation relies on a rolling wave PMO strategy that combines a discipline, control, and efficiency processes with coaching, very supportive servant leaders, team of well-trained project hosts. This particular rolling wave approach allows us to be as flexible as possible within a highly controlled, regulated environment such as the bank. Our clients, mostly internal, provides regular feedback, retrospective ideas and proposals, and these are combined with our regularly organizational maturity review and our governance to modify, fine-tune, and improve our system controls and processes. Also, the PMO CBDR has developed an open look towards innovation, both internally and regarding specific projects that reflects the central bank's strategy, aligned with the identified factors that came out primarily through its latest PESTEL tool analysis. Internally, the PMO has been defining the services to be provided and identifying the right staff, skill set, and tools needed to apply the transformations that will support the drivers of the organization. Just to give you an example, this evolution began since the PMO's inception, when a proper standardization and follow-up of project realization demanded an investment of a project platform that could make visible the portfolio online and with full interaction with the project teams scattered among 27 departments of the bank. This investment of around $2 million on Oracle projects, being Oracle Financials our established platform, it was evaluated as the most efficient option. Along with a rather long learning curve of 2 years until it was running smoothly, represented a major breakthrough for the entire organization, starting with a cultural change that spread very quickly throughout the bank, and its benefits reflect even today, 7 years after its adoption. Projects regarding innovation are mushrooming around our portfolio nowadays, covering critical areas as cybersecurity issues that could level down a central bank's primary asset, which is credibility, into a crisis. A quick renovation of our IT platform and services to adapt to a more secure and friendly user experience. Like a portal for all financial institutions to submit timely information for imaging a daily stability scenario of the financial system. Changes in the communication scheme forcing the bank to adapt to stakeholders, which is the society in general, quick demand for the key financial information. Also policies and regulations to adapt to the fintech environment, etc. All of these and many newer issues are the PMO's concern to proactively incorporate the necessary changes and prioritization in the portfolio. Finally, these are the PMO's next steps. We look forward to completing our strategic program for 2018 called Transitions Toward a Center of Excellence in Strategic and Project Management, a transition that continues building on value creation for the institution and having a positive impact on the institution's results, especially through innovation and change management to an agile organizational culture, collaborative interdepartmental teams, knowledge transfer in person and e-learning, knowledge management center, a common repository with all the information on strategic planning and portfolio programs and projects management in the CBDR. We are spearheading the Mutual Services Agreement initiative, which focuses on fostering a customer-centric service culture. To expand risk management practices across all 3 domains, portfolio, programs, and projects, to improve our efficiency, effectiveness to all our internal external based on the OPM3 assessment improvement paths results. Documentation of success project management stories in the CBDR for induction training of new staff. In September, there will be an exchange engagement experience of CBDR's project managers. And after the 3rd quarter, we are implementing the PMO Value Ring tool. For 2019, we expect to accomplish first projects and programs internal award for high performance in plans and project management. A Kanban implementation to venture the PMO into the agile framework and expand our value management capacity. And finally, risk management workshops for all plan and project managers in order to increase the OPM maturity. On behalf of the authorities of the Central Bank of the Dominican Republic, we feel very grateful for participating in this award, and we thank you for your attention to this presentation. Thank you very much.